With international travel ever easier and more common, the fastest way to spread deadly disease is by airplanes. Here to tell us more is WSJ middle seat columnist Scott McCartney. Hi, Scott. Thanks for being with us.
Good to be with you, Tanya.
So, Scott, you say in your piece that more than 2 billion people fly every year. The law of averages then says that at least some of those travelers are going to be carrying nasty germs. How confident can we be that our planes have been fully disinfected before we board?
Well, in many cases, not so confident because they're not so disinfected. It really depends on where you're going and when you're going. Planes that are departing on international trips, they get a pretty good scrubbing before boarding. But planes that fly domestic trips all day long in the U.S., they get cleaned overnight and during the day just kind of tidied up.
So what are the regulations surrounding plane cleanliness?
It's interesting. There's really not much. The Federal Aviation Administration said they don't inspect or regulate cleanliness. They suggested I contact OSHA. OSHA said they don't do it. Contact the FAA. The FAA said, maybe it's Food and Drug Administration. The Food and Drug Administration said they check food and water safety on commercial airlines. But they're not checking the bathrooms or the tray tables or anything else.
Scott, I've got to be honest with you. This is so alarming to me. I mean, it seems quite dangerous that governments aren't more closely regulating plane cleanliness, considering how easy it is to spread disease in them. Even the World Health Organization is worried about commercial air travel. Isn't that right?
Yeah, the World Health Organization has put out a guide for sanitary conditions on aircraft. They've also done some work with airlines that are flying to Western Africa and because of the Ebola crisis. United Airlines, for example, agreed to increase disinfecting on planes that it uses on its Houston, Lagos, Nigeria route. So the WHO is involved. The CDC has put out guidelines for airlines on crew safety and identifying ill passengers and what to do if you identify an ill passenger and things like that. But there again, they're not regulating cleanliness.
And Scott, I find it very suspect that no airlines would allow you to actually observe the cleaning process taking place.
Yeah, I offered to put on blue gloves and join in with American, United, or Delta, and everybody declined.
It was a no-go.
Airlines were really reluctant to even talk about their cleaning. Lufthansa said that's confidential.
And so have there been any medical studies then to back up the suspicion we often have that our cold was caught on a flight?
Yeah, there actually have. There was one study that said that regular travelers were about at a 20% higher risk for catching the common cold. The real danger here are the passengers around you. The hot zone is 2 rows in front to 2 rows behind. But viruses, bacteria, other things can lurk on surfaces on the airplane for hours and sometimes longer.
And tell us which parts of the plane are particularly scuzzy, and should we all bring Clorox wipes on the plane with us and do a quick wipe down?
One place you don't think about much is the tray table. The tray table and the seat back pocket can hold on to all kinds of stuff, not just really scuzzy trash, but other things. The window that people may sneeze on, the pillows or blankets that just get folded and put back. Even things like the light switch and the flight attendant call button, anything that's a touch point is potential to pick up something.
It's all so distressing. I'm bringing my wipes on the next trip. Thank you so much, Scott McCartney, for that.